Today on Sugar Spun Run, I'll be showing you how to make a stabilized whipped cream frosting. Hey Sugar Spun Bakers, Sam here, and today I am so excited to be sharing another carefully tested, well-researched, and perfected recipe. So many of you have been asking if you can use my homemade whipped cream recipe as a frosting on cakes or cupcakes. While you can, the truth of it is it's not a very stable whipped cream. It's not one that is going to hold up well to a layered cake, and after a couple of hours, it will start to wilt a little bit. If you want a whipped cream frosting that you can use for cakes and cupcakes and that will hold its shape for a long time, you really need to stabilize it. Today I'm going to show you how to do just that. Now, the key ingredient in stabilizing whipped cream is a little bit of unflavored gelatin. You can usually find this in the same aisle where you find pudding mixes. Now, you do not need a whole packet, you just need 1 teaspoon. So I'm just going to go ahead and measure that out, and I'm going to be putting it in a heat-proof measuring cup. I like to use a measuring cup or something with a lid because in a little bit I'm going to need to pour this into my cream, and it's really hard to do if you don't have a nice little spout like that. Well, it's hard to do it without making a mess and losing some of your gelatin anyway. Now you're also going to need 1.5 tablespoons of cold water, and grab yourself a little whisk, and I'm just going to pour this water into the gelatin while whisking because I want these two ingredients to be well combined and nice and smooth. I don't want any lumps. So this is nicely combined. I'm going to set it aside. I'm going to let it sit for 5 minutes. The gelatin's going to work its magic and solidify. And in the meantime, let's get started with our cream. You'll need a large bowl for this recipe, and preferably you want to grab yourself a large metal bowl. And if you can, I highly recommend popping it in your freezer for 10 or 15 minutes before you begin. You are also going to need an electric mixer for this recipe. It can be done by hand, but it's just going to be an arm workout. So I recommend using an electric mixer or a stand mixer. If you think of it, toss those metal beaters in the freezer with the bowl as well. The colder everything is, the easier it's going to be for your cream to reach those stable, stiff peaks. Now we'll add 1.5 cups of cold, heavy cream to the bowl. And we're also adding just 1/2 cup of powdered sugar. That's one thing a lot of people like about this recipe is it's not super sweet. Most frostings use like 4 or 5 cups of powdered sugar. We're only using 1/2 cup today. You'll also add 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract. Now use your electric mixer, and we are just going to beat everything together until this starts to become thicker and your whisk starts leaving trails in the cream. So this is looking pretty good. What I like to do is I like to stop just shy of reaching soft peaks. Now, once I'm at this point with my cream, my gelatin mixture should have had 5 minutes to sit, and it should be, take a look at that. See, it's not liquid anymore, it's nice and solid. Now you're going to re-liquify it. You want to pop it in the microwave for just a couple seconds. Usually takes me 5, 6, 7, maybe 8 seconds until that gelatin is re-melted. We'll whisk this together again. So as you can see, this is nice and liquid at this point. You don't want to make it too hot because that can negatively affect your cream when you add it. You just want it to be warm enough so that it's fully liquid again. Now turn your mixer to low speed. This is as low as mine goes. And here's where you'll be glad that you used a measuring cup with the spout, because we can slowly, gradually drizzle this in to our cream while we are whisking everything together. I don't want to leave any of that gelatin behind, so I'm just going to make sure I scrape out any excess with my spatula. That's the magic stuff that's going to make this whipped cream stable, so you don't want to leave any behind. All right, once all of the gelatin is added, we will turn our mixer up to medium-high speed and just continue to beat until you have stiff peaks. All right, so this looks nice and thick and fluffy. Let's take a peek at it with a spatula. That's very full. I feel like it could go a little bit further, so I'm gonna go just another couple seconds more. Now, whipped cream, stabilized or not, is very susceptible to being overbeaten, and it can start to get curdled. If that happens to you, just grab a tablespoon of cream, maybe 2 tablespoons, add it back into your mixture and beat again until you have the right consistency. All right, this looks great. So I am just going to transfer it to a piping bag fitted with an Attico 848 tip because I want you to see how beautifully this pipes. I have some of my cupcakes here, and I'm just gonna decorate these. This frosting is already going to be pretty stable right when you pipe it, but as it sits, it's going to become even more firm and even more stable. It's really a very lovely and quite versatile frosting. It's not too sweet either, which I think a lot of you are going to love. And that is how easy it is to make homemade stabilized whipped cream frosting. I know a lot of you have been asking for this recipe, so if you try it out, please let me know what you think. I always love hearing from you. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. No cupcake needed.